Do you know how much it will cost Tesla to move the Fremont factory to Texas and how long it will take? In this report, we're going to talk about that. Tim Mullaney from CNBC says keeping Elon Musk's threat to move Tesla out of California will cost at least $1 billion, and he says will be worth it, and explains why it would worth it. But tax intensive would like to recoup much of the spending. The Tesla would need to hire thousands of workers to replace its California factory. Plans to build a big Cybertruck plant, possibly in Texas, could pave the way to phase out manufacturing in California, though some analysts argue moving corporate, if any, operations would make more sense than shifting production. And also I'm going to tell you how long it approximately takes to move an entire factory from California, from one state to another. Welcome back, dear friends. This is Armen Harayan from TorqueNews.com. Tesla CEO has been bickering in social media with California and Alameda County officials about reopening Tesla's Fremont, California electric car manufacturing plant, on which the electric car maker is unusually dependent, since its only other automaker plant is the newly operated gigafactory outside Shanghai. Recently, Elon Musk took on Twitter to threaten to take his company to go home. If by home he means new digs in either Nevada or locations where Tesla is reportedly scouting locations for a new Cybertruck plant, Austin, Texas, or Tulsa, Oklahoma. The unelected and ignorant interim health officer of Alameda is acting contrary to governor, the president, the constitutional freedom, and just plain common sense, Elon Musk tweeted. And he continued, frankly, this is the final straw. Tesla will now move its headquarters and future programs to Texas, Nevada immediately. End of the quote. Moving the company's factory would cost at least $1 billion given the cost associated with the building a new facility, and could take 12 months to 18 months, said Don Eves, who follows Tesla for Wedbush Securities. So 12 to 18 months, that's what it usually takes to build a gigafactory in Shanghai or in Berlin. More to the point, Tesla would have to relocate thousands of employees. The company had 48,000 workers when it completed its most recent annual 10K filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission, but doesn't say how many work in the Fremont factory. Some people say it's about 10,000 people working in Fremont factory, and all over California about 20,000 people working in California. The bigger problem would be the same as the reason Elon Musk is so worked up about Fremont being closed for virus in the first place, says CFRA research analyst Garrett Nelson. It's the only US factory Musk has and makes virtually all of the company's vehicles for the US market, including the old Model S and Model X lines, as well as the higher volume Model 3 and the newly introduced Model Y electric crossover. Closing the Fremont factory anytime soon would leave Tesla with too few options to build its products and generate revenue. We just don't see it, Nelson said. It's too expensive and they're too dependent on the Fremont factory. That's true. California Governor Gavin Newsom told CNBC he doesn't see it either. Speaking on CNBC Fast Money on Tuesday night, he said he is quote-unquote not worried about Tesla CEO Elon Musk moving the company's operations out of the state, quote-unquote, anytime soon. We are committed to the success and the innovation and the low-carbon green growth economy that has been promoting for decades, and the state of California is accelerating in, Newsom said in the Fast Money interview. Tesla did not respond to requests from CNBC for comments. The potential billion-dollar price tag for a move wouldn't be the biggest problem. Tesla also would face potential manufacturing disruptions during the moving process. The right location, if Musk is serious about moving either headquarters or the Fremont plant, would likely be next to the factory where the company builds its upcoming Cybertruck plant. Tesla is reportedly sifting often from Texas, Oklahoma, and potentially other states to host the plant, which would also produce Model Y vehicles. That decision is expected to come soon, with Texas holding the edge, offering sites in the Austin area where Tesla already has an engineering office, said a report in green economy website Electric. Texas is the biggest pickup market in the country, 50% bigger than California, which is number 2, Nelson said. Tesla closed the first quarter with $8.1 billion in cash and short-term investments on its balance sheet after a year in which it established itself as a solidly cash flow positive. It also raised more than $2 billion in stock offering in February. The company is also known to be pitting states against each other to offer fat incentives for the Cybertruck plant, as it has done before, said Greg Leroy, executive director of Good Jobs First, a nonprofit watchdog that tracks corporate incentives deals and believes many of them are wasteful. Good Jobs First says Tesla has taken $2.4 billion in state and local incentives for different projects, mostly in upstate New York, where it built a large solar plant panel, and Nevada, where its battery plant is located, and would like to seek subsidies to move headquarters or shift Fremont production elsewhere. When Tesla picked Nevada for its Gigafactory battery plant near Reno in 2014, the company committed to pick up only about $2 billion of the $4 billion to $5 billion capital cost, according to Tesla's 2014 10-K filing. Nevada gave the company $195 million in transferable tax credits in exchange for a commitment by Tesla and battery partner Panasonic to exchange at least $3.5 billion in the plant. If Tesla meets other targets, it can claim as much as $1.3 billion in state tax breaks over 20 years, most of it in sales and use tax abatements, according to Good Jobs First. The Fremont Factory itself was initially financed in part by a federal loan guarantee as part of the 2009 economic stimulus, which Tesla later repaid to prevent Washington from cashing in warrants to buy stock at less than 1% of today's stock price. Car factories are major employers whose owners usually get states to make generous offers, Leroy said. In Tesla's case, incentives could include credits against Tesla's gross receipt tax that could, over time, obliterate much of all of its investments. Car companies can also often get sales tax breaks on materials or equipment used to build and outfit their factories, he added, and governments will often build infrastructure to suit them. Texas upgraded rail facilities to nab a Toyota pickup truck plant in San Antonio, which later helped the state convince Toyota to move its U.S. headquarters to suburban Dallas from California. Quote, "There are two ways the virus may play out. For state-sponsored incentives," Leroy said. Some states may finally say, enough, we're looking at fiscal cliff. Others will go the other way, thinking they aren't going to be many big expansions available, so we'd better come loaded for bear. Tesla could also make back its capital spent on lower operating costs, said Galandra Kroshenbach, CEO of Statebook, a data provider to economic development organizations and private companies. Depending on how many jobs move, the company could capture hundreds of millions of dollars of operating savings, with big savings on production workers who are 25% more expensive in Oakland than Austin, and electricity costs half as high, she said in an analysis provided to CNBC. If 10,000 employees moved and the company saved $25,000 per worker in payroll and benefit costs, which is not unreasonable given here zero personal income tax in Texas and in most places a lower cost of living, that alone would be $250 million a year in savings, exclusive of any government subsidies, said Mike Grella, former economic development director for Amazon.com, who is now head of consulting from Grella Partnership Strategies. Stock and analysts think Musk is probably bluffing. Yves thinks that if Musk is serious, the factory is likelier to move than the headquarters, partly because of the difficulty of replacing the white-collar workers at Tesla's Palo Alto headquarters. While Governor Newsom doesn't think Tesla's going anywhere soon as a corporation, Yves said, given the high cost of manufacturing in Northern California, he sees a business case for it. Texas gives them significantly shorter supply chain, Yves said. That includes proximity to other auto plants, such as Toyota's pickup plant in San Antonio and car manufacturing operations throughout the southern U.S. that rely on more closely located industry suppliers from Mexico and elsewhere, as well as stronger transportation network links. The cost per vehicle could go down by 10% to 25%. The writing is on the wall that they are going to do more production and another U.S. facility, he said. Nelson thinks moving corporate would make more sense than auto manufacturing, mainly because of the cost to move a huge manufacturing facility or construct a new one, as well as productivity impacts, since Tesla may lose a number of trained workers in the process because workers and their families may not be willing to move. We think Tesla will instead focus on building new factories in Germany and in the United States and not tinker with disturbing operations at the plant, which accounts for over 70% of their current vehicle production capacity, Nelson said. Well, friends, let me know what you think about these things. Do you think Tesla will move the entire Fremont factory, or do you think it will just move the headquarters? But besides the Fremont, we know that Tesla is going to build a separate factory anyway, the factory for Cybertruck, and that is regardless of moving the Fremont or the headquarters. I personally think that Tesla may move its headquarters, as Elon Musk said, but unlikely that Tesla, at least anytime soon, will move its Fremont factory. It's going to take 12 to 18 months. It's going to disrupt Tesla's main factory's operations, or Tesla may build two factories, let's say in Texas, one to replace the current Fremont factory, and another one, a new factory that will build the Cybertruck and Model Y. That's a different thing. And also it will cost Tesla $1 billion, but as this article and analysis from CNBC, the link of which I will have in the description of this video, shows, it may be worth it. It may save Tesla a lot of money. But I personally think not everything in this life is about money. There are more important things than money, because like we said, thousands of people and their families may not be willing to relocate to another state. But we don't know, depending what they're facing. If they cannot find another job in California, they may be moving. But like I said, I think Tesla may move its headquarters, but not the Fremont plant. Let me know what you think, friends. This is Armen Harian from TorqueNews.com. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section below. And please subscribe to our channel, join our community, and I'll talk to you soon in our next report. Have a wonderful rest of the day. God bless you, and take good care of each other.